everyone, Amber here. So like I mentioned in the previous video, I love soap operas. I always have, ever since I was a little girl, when I would watch them with my grandmother. Let's see, the one I'm currently watching right now is The Bold and the Beautiful. Haven't seen Beyond the Gates just yet, but I feel like it'd be really, really good. But let me know what you guys think. Don't mind me, I'm just recovering from a cold. Let's see. So yeah, I'll discuss Bold, Days, YNR. Bold, Days, YNR. Oh, and General Hospital. Yep. Alright, so. Drum roll. The Bold and the Beautiful for number 1. Alright, so we have Logan, Forster Creations. Now you're probably thinking, well, which one do you think is better, Logan or Forster? And to answer your question, I don't really know. I'm like very conflicted at the moment. That's just my cat. I love her. Let's see. So, currently, we have a possible revenge plot for Katie and a revenge plot from Katie, and I'll explain. Now, if you've been watching the recent Bold episodes, you realize that Katie and Katie shot back with a, I just need a little hope. Could that be any more subtle? Or obvious, whichever. And this is after calling Hope a dirty little mistake. Her own niece. Really? And I get some of you are not, all that crazy about Hope, and like that's okay, you're entitled to your opinion. But really? I just don't agree with that. I'm sorry, I don't. Because even though I do love Steffi, and she is right sometimes, I'm also Team Hope. So like Team Steffi and Team Hope, if that kind of makes some sense. Like, it depends on the storyline, But dirty excuse me. Ooh. Dirty little mistake. Wait till Hope finds out. She's gonna be like coming back to Forrester and then be like, again. And when Steffi finds out that Hope went to Logan, the competitor, who is owned by Katie, Logan Spencer, and Bill Spencer, who Steffi sees currently as the enemy, that's not gonna pan out too well. No siree, Bob. Yeah. And I mean, are we ever gonna reveal that kiss that happened between Steffi and Liam like 3 years ago? Or is that just gonna be like an afterthought? Because like Finn needs to know. I don't know. But let's see, is there anything else? Oh yeah. RJ having the time of his life with Will getting fired. That really pissed me off. I'm sorry about my French, but it did. And, like, when I'm on my Facebook, everyone's like, oh, RJ is such a creep. And it's like, I don't know. But let me explain it to you the way I see it. Now, the person who plays this RJ, I think he's doing an amazing job. And so did Joshua Hoffman, if I'm getting the name right, who is the last RJ. They're both doing an amazing job. So, to them. Although I will admit, this RJ Not the actor, just his character. Like, this current RJ. Is really a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I don't know. But for some reason, he suddenly hates Will. I don't know. Maybe he always did. I'm not too sure. Yeah. And then, as much as I love Elektra, and I love Linnea, the way she was with Dylan, or Sydney Bullock, and they're both doing amazing jobs as well, you know, with Dylan and Elektra. I mean, I get everything that Elektra was trying to say, and I also understand what Dylan was trying to say. So, you know, Elektra, she's like, you know, like, you were, like, kind of trying to get with my guy here. And Dylan's like, well, that may be so, possibly. However, and I was like, oh. She's like, you know, you're going after RJ, or he's going after you, one or the other, and you want Will too. Or something like that. I don't really know. But, and she's like, oh, you're holding me to a standard that you don't hold yourself. And Elektra's like, excuse me? I was like, I don't know. But thankfully they made up, I think. Although I will give kudos to Dylan for being honest that, you know, Remy's her cousin. And if you know, you know that Elektra and Remy have a bit of a past. At least, Remy does. Taylor and Deacon. I love Taylor, Rebecca, and Deacon, Sean. I'll admit, Taylor does deserve someone who will put her first and love only her. And so doesn't Hope. And, you know. But Taylor and Deacon, really? And with Sheila's ex-husband. You think that was a smart move, honey? Because that time with the pizza cutter, I really honestly thought she killed her. And that scared me. Because, like, if that had happened, Steffi would be, like, full throttle. Like, she would have the biggest revenge plot ever. However, thankfully she didn't get killed off. But, I don't think that Sheila's just gonna, like, go away without there being repercussions. And what I don't exactly agree with is the fact that whether it's the Hunter Tylo version, or Krista Allen, or Rebecca Budig, and don't get me wrong, I have no issue whatsoever with any of them. I think they're all great as Taylor, and beautiful, and sweet. So, like, it's definitely not anything like that. It's just the character of Taylor. However, you know. But what I don't agree with, basically, is how for, I don't know, let's say 30 years, I don't know, I'm not really good at math, or like 40, I'm not really sure, but, oh, excuse me. She was always liked Brooke, like, oh, you know, chasing other people's husbands, and like all that stuff. And I'll admit, like, I wasn't always a fan of Brooke. Love Catherine, though. But, like, she'd always be like, oh, Brooke, you know, you're, like, the iconic Stephanie quote. Like, oh, you're the kind of thing. And then she turns around and sleeps with a married guy. Deacon. And, I'll admit, maybe Sheila shouldn't have busted into Steffi's house like that. Especially with a knife. But then Taylor being like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm just, having sex with your husband. No, I'm just teasing. But, yeah, I don't think Sheila's just gonna, like, go away. Like, she's gonna be, like, plotting. And how that turns out, I don't really know. But I guess we'll find out when the time comes. So, what's the other thing? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it. It's like, really. Do y'all remember when this ridge called Hope? No. Yeah, me too. And I'm still not over that. And he still, most likely, hasn't apologized to her because of his egotistical manner. Where he thinks his daughter's always in the right. But I don't know. Love Torsten. So, like, it's nothing like, oh, like, no. It's just, Ridge is very egotistical. But, like, what I thought was a real jab was when Carter compared, I believe, Ridge and Steffi to his late mother, Stephanie. I guess he was basically, like, saying, like, oh, like your mother. Which, I'm guessing he was referring to, like, the toxic work environment and, possibly being verbally abusive. I don't really know, because it's been a while, at least a couple of years. But I was like, and if Stephanie was still alive and she had heard that when this was all going down, she'd really be giving to Carter and be like, pack your bags and get out, And you think you're gonna run my company? I don't think so. If you know, Stephanie always had a plan. But yeah, and then moving to General Hospital. Now, I've been following the Willow and Drew storyline since it started. Pretty much. Except for, like, when, like, say, like, when they kissed on the 4th of July, and, but, oh, excuse me, geesh. So, I'm just gonna say it, excuse me, I'm not a fan of the Drillo, like, Drew and Willow thing, and I'm sure a lot of people can say that. Now, like I said, as far as the actors themselves, I have no issue whatsoever. So, like, Caitlin, Cameron, I love you guys. Rory, Eden, I love you guys. So, they started off, like, having, couple kisses, and then it went to that. Then it played in front of everyone at the Christmas party. The skull face emoji. And the Michael at the time, I believe his name is Chad Duell. He's like, and obviously they separated and stuff, and Willow's like to Carly, like, I can do whatever I want with my kids, because absent Michael has no say in anything I do, and neither do you, so shut your two-faced mouth. I was like, ooh. And she came through with her promise. You're never gonna see those kids again. I will make sure of it. And it happened. For a time. And then Drew got shot. Okay? And everyone's like, oh my god, who shot Drew? Because it could have been anybody. Because Drew went from the nice hero guy to an SOB that everybody hated. So, you know, you didn't really know. And yes, it could have been Michael, or it could have been Carly. It could have been anybody. But to be honest, though, I kind of had a feeling it was Willow. Now, like I said, it could have been Michael. You never know. But when they revealed that it was Willow, I mean, yeah, part of me was shocked, but the other half was like, yep. Like, we just had to wait like 6 months. But it's like, come on. And then she's like, you know, she wins, like, the case against her, you know, for shooting Drew. And they're like, oh, not guilty, you know, done, free woman. And so, like, she and Drew are celebrating. And, you know, you don't think much of it. You know, like, yeah, she's just, you know, marrying him for convenience and also so she can get her kids back, you know, and so it's like, she's not really there, you know, but it's like, whatever, you know, Drew did this to himself, and so, like, they're having a drink over it, and, you know, you don't expect anything, like, she's just like, and, like, even days prior to that, she was like, I got married to this? Like, this is who I dumped Michael for? But anyway, next thing you know, right to the neck, I believe. Now all of a sudden he's had a stroke. And he can't talk. So, like, months, sorry about that. So months and months and months and months go by of this. Like, you know, Drew not talking, him making, like, eye movements, you know, and Willow being like, sorry, I run the show now. And, now, currently, her Aunt Liesel, I'm not really good with pronouncing certain names, but basically, she's like, you know, she's like, whatever you and your mom are doing, like, great, like, just leave me out of it, because, like, I got my own stuff to deal with, and, yeah, and so, you know, Drew's looking at Willow, like, and I'm just like, and Michael's plan of having Willow and Chase sleep together, basically, essentially, cheating on Brooklyn and her cheating on Drew. Michael. I get the whole thing of it. I do. But come on, man. Brooklyn, like, she's innocent in all this. And I know you said, like, oh, I don't want to hurt Brooklyn. But, like, that's exactly what you'll be doing. And if she finds out that this was all planned by you, somewhat, there's gonna be war. Alright. So, yeah, let's see. So, Beyond the Gates, haven't quite gotten to it just yet. We discussed Bold, General Hospital. Alright, now, let's go with Days. Okay. So, they still haven't brought Abby back. I love Abby. I miss her. Hopefully they bring her back. And, you know, she and Chad get back together and, you know, raise their family. But we'll see how that goes. aside from that, I haven't really, gotten into it since Abby died, to be honest. I mean, I'm still, like, checking it out every once in a while, but it's just not the same, But anyway, Stephanie has a gun, and she's either, I don't know, like, she thinks there's, like, an intruder coming, and it looks like she might get Joy. I don't know. It's hard to say. And this Lexi, wonderful job. However, this version of Lexi, she gives me this vibe, like, I don't know. Like, she called Claire a tramp. And I'll just leave it at that. Because I guess she cheated on him. And I don't recall them even being in a relationship together, but yeah. This is also the same Claire who pretended to be Sierra at Sierra and Theo's wedding when really she was with Ben because he was trying to help her get her memories back. Boy. So yeah, and then I guess Gabby betrayed Philip in some way. Gabby's paying some guy to stay away from Ari. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really know. Let's see. Alright, and then The Young and the Restless. So, they have been talking about addiction awareness, which I think is very, very important. And I think they're portraying it so well. Miss Summer. Diane, she's missing in action right now, but we don't really know what's going on. Yeah, there's not really too much to talk about with that one. Although, I will admit this much. Yes, what happened between Jack and Patty was obviously, devastating for Diane, and I'm not saying that, Patty didn't trick him, because, she did, in a way. Like I said, I haven't really gotten into it, so, just, yeah, I don't know. But, I think it was Tracy. I'm not too sure. Because, I'm still trying to, get an idea of everything. And, but she's basically Diane. She's like, look. She's like, I love you. But you're not perfect either. She's like, you pretended to be dead. And yeah, that's not the same thing as, what happened with him and Patty. But, we all make mistakes. So, and, yeah. And then, I guess, excuse me, Nikki was coming to Jack's defense. And Diane's like, really? She's like, okay, let me check her, Yeah, so that's pretty much it so far, and what else is to come, we don't know just yet, because, we're all viewers for this, but, yeah, I guess we'll, figure it out when the time comes, and, we'll be tweeting about it and stuff. And okay, so to conclude, I just have a few questions, for you guys, your opinion on all of these stories. Oh, excuse me. So, are you Team Hope or Team Steffi? You know, let you sit with that one a minute. And then, are you Team Katie or Team Brooke? Let you sit with that one for a minute. And lastly, actually two more. Alright. The second to last, I believe if I'm saying that right, are you Team Logan, Forrester Creations, and then the last one, Team Will or Team RJ? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, love you guys.